Did she see the truth behind the perfect picture? When silence becomes your shield and the weight of unspoken sacrifices thickens the air, what happens when love is hidden beneath layers of quiet service? City lights hum softly in the background, mixed with the faint scent of jasmine from the evening street. A heavy pause lingers, a moment thicker than words. Loyalty, quiet and unseen, exists in those shadows, woven in whispers between family and history. This story isn't just about a wedding, it's about sacrifice wrapped in humility. The woman behind it all, her name is Layla Monroe, she's the true hero. She gave her all, quietly, no recognition, just to see her son's happiness shine brighter than anything else. She bought that old barn, turned it into a place of celebration, just so her son wouldn't have to worry. Paid for every deposit, every detail, all out of love, not gratitude, not acknowledgement. And Sierra, she's dreaming of a modern wedding, expecting perfection, visions clear. But those visions clash with reality, with unspoken struggles. She doesn't see the unseen work, the sacrifices that bought the happiness they now rush to celebrate. What if the person holding it all together is more hero than the bride or the groom? What if the silent strength is what makes love truly hold? Some stories aren't just about big moments. They're about the quiet battles, the sacrifices that don't flash in the spotlight. Sometimes love's most profound truth is what remains unspoken. And the real victory? It's knowing who pays the price, without ever asking for praise. The scent of fried chicken and sweet potato pie drifted through the air, mingling with her mother's warm laughter and the faint hum of gospel hymns. She stood on the porch during a family reunion, clutching a cold lemonade, the distant laughter of children echoing the heartbeat of her childhood. The sun's warmth touched her face, but beneath that glow, a quiet ache settled, a longing to be seen, to be accepted. Her grandmother's gentle squeeze on her shoulder was a fleeting reassurance, yet inside, she felt the weight of unspoken expectations bundled tight. Those moments of unconditional love built her resilience, but also deepened her sense of invisibility. That day, her protective instinct silently took shape, a layered armor of quiet sacrifice, unnoticed by those she loved most. She was shaping a future, one she hoped would make her proud, even if her own story whispered differently. In the dim glow of string lights, I clutch the brass key, trembling just a little. My eyes dart around the crowded garage, unaware of the storm inside me. The air's thick with the scent of stale beer, burnt candles, and a faint hint of rain outside, waiting to fall. The muffled laughter, the clink of glasses, sounds everyone ignores, like they don't notice the quiet battle unfolding here. My heart pounds, a rhythm of sacrifice and unresolved pain. Am I fading into the background, or just waiting for my moment? Just as I steady my grip, a shadow moves behind me, whispering, "It's not over yet." What could come next? This isn't just a wedding. It's a story about quiet strength, unseen sacrifices, the kind that change lives without fanfare. And the real hero? Sometimes she's the one holding everything together in plain sight, without a single thank you. Did you ever stop to really see her? That quiet woman, the one behind the scenes, quietly holding everything together. I stared at her, caught between the joy outside and the weight she'd carried all her life. Sierra's voice floated in my mind. She said it was just timing, that I wouldn't get my solo shot later, but I knew better. I reached out, touched her hand softly, and whispered, "Don't worry, baby, let them have their pictures." Because sometimes, that's enough. Maya sank beside me, eyeing the chaos. Disgust flickered across her face, and I saw the truth in her eyes. This is where they sat me, they thought. My mother would have flipped if she saw this. I nodded. She knew who she was dealing with. Sierra might think she married up, but I built this table, this family, this life. Maya's glance drifted to the key in my palm. "What's that?" she asked. I held it up. "The original, the one I never let go of." She blinked. "You own this place?" I didn't answer. No one forgets where the foundation lies, especially if they've been wiping floors with care. My chest ached. It's not just about disrespect, it's betrayal. Tyrone, my own son, letting them disrespect me. I didn't need applause or a front row seat, just respect. But hiding me behind a mop bucket? That's shameful. Maya's voice was sharp. "Are you going to do something?" I looked her in the eye. "Not yet." She nodded, understanding but leaving quietly. Time slipped by. I'd memorized every song, every transition. Around 7 p.m., the DJ's volume dipped, and someone clinked a glass. Time for the toast. I smoothed my dress, hesitant but determined. I didn't step inside. Instead, I lingered near the French doors, watching through the glass. There they sat. Tyrone, Sierra, her mother laughing too loud, him smiling softly, lost in the moment. Sierra radiated royalty, yet they had no idea I was just outside, unseen, waiting. For what? The moment when everything shifts, when the quiet hero steps forward, not for applause, but for truth. Because sometimes love isn't about the big gestures. It's about the sacrifices no one notices until it's almost too late. Tonight, I watched Sierra glide onto the dance floor with Tyrone. Just a moment, a flash of perfection, as she spun slightly off beat and her eyes flickered with doubt, like a crack in the surface of a picture-perfect night. The room buzzed with laughter, clinking glasses, the sense of celebration masking something simmering beneath. I stood at the edge, clutching my dress tight, memories curling in my mind, sacrifices made, hopes hidden behind quiet resilience. What's really lurking here? Is my silent struggle about to be exposed? Or is this just the start of something I can't yet see? Inside, every step I've taken for this moment weighs heavy. I see Sierra's smile, her expectations bleeding into reality, and Tyrone supporting her, unaware of the storm behind my eyes. Family, social walls, cultural ties, they all press down. But I won't break. Not tonight. Instead, I hold my breath as I quietly prepare for what's coming next. Because sometimes love and loyalty come at a cost no one notices until it's almost too late. Night has a way of revealing truths we try to hide in plain sight. Out here, the air's crisp, a whisper of honeysuckle and rain lingering on the breeze. I'm just outside the celebration, watching everyone assume everything's perfect. Sierra, radiant in her expectations, standing there with that bride-to-be glow. But her eyes are flickering, more nervous than she lets on, like she's hiding something beneath the makeup and smiles. Tyrone, beside her, looks supportive but distant, caught in a web of unspoken expectations. Inside, the room is a bubble of laughter and clinking glasses. But I know better. I see what they don't, the fake eucalyptus flowers and plastic peonies, stages of a script I never signed up for. I move along the shadows, unnoticed, holding back a storm of memories and sacrifices. That's when I spot Victor, the venue manager I hired years ago, standing in the back hallway, waiting. That's my cue. I slip outside, feeling the summer night wrap around me, quiet but thick with anticipation. The buzz of the event fades as I settle at a distant patio table, watching the chaos unfold inside. Suddenly, the announcement comes. Cake, speeches, nothing unusual. But then, whispers ripple, confusion spreads. The bar's shutting down, the restrooms are locked, and Sierra's smile falters just enough to tell me something's wrong. She steps toward Victor with a clipped tone, sharp, calculated. I hold my breath. Every moment like this reminds me. Sometimes love means playing the quiet hero. Sacrifices made, secrets kept, and all for what? a night of illusions that could shatter at any second. But maybe, just maybe, honesty is what tonight needs most. And I'm here, waiting, ready to reveal what's really been going on beneath the surface. The backyard was silent except for the rustle of leaves. Sierra's voice rose, disbelief thick in her tone. Then, without warning, the scene cut sharply. I'm back on that porch, soaked in the humid afternoon sun, the air heavy with the scent of fried chicken and freshly cut grass. I clutch a faded wedding photo, hands trembling slightly, my eyes, glossy with unshed tears, hold a quiet strength. A distant hum of children playing, the soft whisper of my mother's voice promising better days. That moment, the sacrifices I made for my son, floating between past and present, like the breeze that stirs the porch swing. Sometimes love isn't loud or flashy, it's quiet resilience. It's the hope that, no matter how unnoticed, you're still fighting. For him, always for him. The echo of heels clip-clopping down that dark alley still rings in my ears, mixed with distant shouts from Sierra and Tyrone. The summer night feels thick, humid air wrapping around me, almost suffocating, but beneath it all, a strange sense of freedom blooms. I'm on the edge of something unseen, something that might change everything. Just as I hit the alley's end, a shadow shifts behind me and a whisper slices through the chaos. Where do you think you're going now? My heartbeat stalls. Before I can turn, everything plunges into silence. Darkness swallowing the street, the only sound my own breath. What's waiting just beyond that shadow? Will I step into it? And what will I find on the other side? Or am I running from something I can't even see yet? The night's secrets are just starting to reveal themselves. That warm, jasmine scent still lingers in my memory, floating on the humid breeze as I sit under that old oak tree. I clutch a faded photograph of my son, his eyes shining with hope, almost feeling his heartbeat next to mine. The distant laughter from family gatherings, the faint rustle of leaves, the sweet taste of buttery cookies on my tongue. It all floods back. But behind this piece, I carry so much weight, emotional distance, the struggle to be seen, to be understood. Love means quiet sacrifices, sometimes unnoticed, sometimes unappreciated. I've spent my life fighting, shielding him from the chaos of my world, hiding my true feelings just to keep his smile bright. No matter how silent my sacrifices seem, they're the armor I wear to protect his happiness. And even in the shadows of loneliness, I find strength, because that's what love really is. It's resilience buried deep beneath the surface, quietly holding everything together. Fast forward past the memories, I'm at that party, the chaos unraveling. Sierra's voice blares, disbelief, impatience, yelling about dreams, expectations, and a wedding that's supposed to be perfect, but isn't. Her face, tense with frustration, clashes with my calm, caring gaze. Tyrone, standing silently beside her, maybe feeling it all but not saying much. There's tension there, unspoken, like echoes of struggles we don't see. Everything's falling apart, and I wonder, do they even realize how much is riding on this day? Because I do. I've watched love and hardship collide in their own ways, their hopes, their fears. But beneath it all, I know love isn't about flawless moments. It's about holding on, even when the world tries to pull you apart. I've made sure my son's happiness stays intact, quietly fighting to protect his smile, no matter the storm. Then there's that alley, the night where everything feels like it's hanging in the balance. The air, thick with rain scent and leaf rustle, shadows stretching long. I hear footsteps, a shadow behind me, voice like a blade. Where do you think you're going now? My heart pounds. The darkness swallows my breath, silence falling like a curtain. What lurks just beyond that unseen edge? Am I running from something, or towards it? The night whispers secrets, Some I don't even understand yet. Every step feels heavier, yet somehow freeing. Because sometimes the biggest revelations come at the darkest moments. And in that silence I realize the story isn't over. Not yet. Not even close. The truth, like the night, is waiting to unfold. I spot Tyrone standing alone by the fountain, shirt unbuttoned at the collar, jacket gone. He looks like he's been spun in a dryer, then hung out to dry right in the middle of chaos. He sees me, but doesn't step forward, just stares. Silent. I don't wave. No point in waving. Who waves at someone who watched you get pushed into a garage and didn't say a word? Seconds feel like minutes. I hold my ground. Then, out of nowhere, Sierra storms out, heels in hand, makeup streaked, voice sharp as a blade. She yells something at a staff member, then kicks a flower arrangement off its pedestal. Blooms scatter across the sidewalk, like they knew they'd served the wrong queen today. Victor reappears, cool as ever. I tell security to clear the property in 15 minutes. New owner doesn't want footage of trespassers leaking out. He nods. Makes sense. Maya checks her phone. Clip just hit 500,000 views. One comment. That's not a mother-in-law. That's a seal. I chuckle, louder than I expected. The sound echoes off the empty courtyard, raw and real. I finish my cake and suddenly, I don't feel guilt or regret. No, I feel like I just took back my name, like reclaiming what's mine. Maya reaches for my hand. Come on, Grandma, let's go home. I stand, walk down that gravel path one last time, no longer as a guest, a mother, or someone trying to fit in. I walk as the woman who built their foundation, who made sure they'd never forget whose name was under their feet. That morning, everything's still. No calls, no apologies, just the faint hum of the ceiling fan and lavender scent whispering peace. You'd think after all that, my phone would be blowing up. But silence. Because sometimes silence is what people use when they think they can outlast your dignity. I pour myself a cup of bitter coffee, settle by the window, and watch it all settle, finally, into the quiet I needed. Sunlight slices through my living room in sharp, gold streaks, like it's cutting straight to the core. Outside, the neighborhood kids are already on their bikes, pedaling carefree, oblivious to what shifted deep in me, because I feel it. Something inside that I've buried under layers of politeness and sacrifice so long, I forgot what it was to stand tall without explanation. I kept telling myself being quiet was wisdom. It wasn't. It just made it easier for everyone else to pretend I wasn't there, to erase me from my own story. I sip my bitter coffee, scrolling on my tablet. And there it is, an image that punches me in the chest. Sierra mid-scream, her arms flailing, her face twisted with rage. The caption, bride evicted by groom's mom during the reception, and it's legal. 3 million views, climbing faster than I can blink. Comments flood in, laughs, gasps, guesses about the location. Some call me savage, others queen behavior. But the ones that pierce are from women who, like me, have survival stories. We already went through worse, one says. Grandmothers wanted to do what she did but never had the guts. I don't reply. I just bookmark it, close the app, and then knock at the door. It's Tyrone. He looks wiped out, wrinkled suit, no tie, eyes red-rimmed from exhaustion. My boy, still handsome, still nervous. He doesn't bring Sierra. He just asks, "Can I come in?" I step aside, pointing to the couch. He sinks down, like his legs aren't sure if they want to hold him up anymore. Neither of us speaks at first. He drifts his gaze to a photo on my shelf. A goofy little boy, 8 years old, missing a tooth, grinning like he just struck gold. He finally breaks the silence. "They sat me in the garage," he says softly. I raise an eyebrow, waiting. I didn't know." His voice cracks. "I thought you were at table 4, at Aunt V's, Uncle Charles's. That's what the chart said. The room tightens. My mind races. How much do I reveal? How much do I shield him from? The truth hangs heavy. This isn't just about a wedding chaos. It's about the fracture lines in all of us, about the sacrifices made in silence, the battles fought behind closed doors. And still, I wonder, how many of us are just trying to survive, hoping no one sees how much we're really holding? The room hangs heavy with silence, the faint flicker of string lights casting dancing shadows on faces that look haunted. Tyrone's eyes are glassy, shoulders heavy with unspoken weight. He hesitates, then softly whispers, "Can I come in?" I step aside, the air thick with unspoken truths. He sinks onto the couch, legs trembling, exhaustion penned into every line of his face. We sit in thick silence, until he breaks it with a cracked voice, revealing what I already knew but dared not say out loud. His words stumble out. "They sat me in the garage," he says quietly. I raise an eyebrow. I didn't know." His voice falters. "Thought you were at Aunt V's, Uncle Charles's. That's what the chart said." My heart pounds, a storm breaking behind my eyes. How much do I reveal? Do I protect him, or let him see the crack in this fragile picture? Inside, I feel the weight of quiet sacrifices, hidden battles, family fractures, hopes crumbling quietly in the background. And amid this tension, what's lurking beyond that door? A distant sound, the faint creak of a hinge, the whisper of a muffled step, sends a ripple of suspicion through us. Is this just the chaos of a wedding gone wrong, or is something darker waiting to emerge? Will this truth finally rise from the shadows, or will it burn everything to the ground? Because in this moment, vulnerability isn't just in words. It's in the space between shadows and secrets. And the question hangs heavy. What will be revealed when that door finally opens? The evening air hung heavy, thick with anticipation and unspoken fears. I stand at the window, eyes locked on Sierra's wedding dress, a ghostly silhouette hanging in the dim glow. My fingers trace the delicate fabric, feeling the weight of everything left unsaid. I wonder, will my sacrifices be seen tonight, or just blend into the background noise of this celebration? Outside, a faint creak breaks the silence. Then a shadow moves. I lean in, whispering, "Are they ready for what's about to come?" The silence presses in tight. Something lurks just beyond the edge of sight, stirring in the shadows. Is it chaos, or something darker? My heart pounds, because in moments like this, truth can hide behind a curtain of silence, or burst into the light when you least expect it. And as the night unfolds, I ask myself, what secrets are waiting in the darkness, just beyond reach? And when that moment comes, will we face it, or let it swallow us whole? Tyrone sent a card on my birthday. No gift, just his name scribbled beneath, "With love." I kept it not because it meant much, but because I needed to remember. Some things you forgive. Others you just hold on to quietly. Maya. She came by every Sunday after church, grocery runs, gutter cleaning, flipping through old photo albums. She sat on my porch, sipping sweet tea, whispering, "Your story's not over just because you got quiet again." One afternoon, she pulled out her laptop, eyes shining. "Grandma, I've been working on something." I raised an eyebrow. She turned the screen. It was a draft. Not just any nonprofit, but something bold. The Dorothy Holloway Foundation for Displaced Matriarchs. Maya said, "Too many women get erased from their own families. We can't fix everyone, but we can preserve their stories." I blinked hard, swallowed. "People really support something like that?" She smiled. "You broke the internet just being you, turning silence into something structured." I almost laughed through a tight throat. "Start small," Maya urged. "Support circles, legal clinics, inheritance workshops, housing aid." I looked up at the ceiling, asking for permission or courage, then nodded. "Let's do it," I said. 2 weeks later, we filed the paperwork. I chipped in some wedding reimbursement. Sierra's parents finally sent a check after the venue went viral and their business contacts started to drift away. It wasn't much, but it covered our website, flyers, and the first rent of a meeting space on Edgewood Avenue. First session, 5 women. Next, 15. By third month, over 60 women. Stories alive again, voices rising, and right as I thought I had this all under control, the quiet cracks, Tyrone's card, the past sitting softly in the background, yet an undercurrent of something more waiting. Then, Sierra rushes in, her hurried footsteps, impatience filling the air. Her eyes land on a faded photo tucked in the album, the same one she's always dreamed of for her wedding. Her breath catches. She reaches out slowly. Her hand trembles as she touches the corner, tracing the picture. Her future mother-in-law, smiling, clutching that tiny bouquet. But beneath her gaze, there's a flicker, a shift in the rhythm of the moment. The narrator's voice, soft but deliberate, shifts too. It's not just about wedding plans anymore. Because hidden behind that smile all this time was a long-buried truth. The woman she's admired. She's the woman behind Sierra's hero story, the forgotten matriarch, the one whose sacrifices laid the foundation, quietly in shadows. The revelation hangs there, pausing the air, threads past and present together like an unspoken promise. And suddenly, everything feels different. The past doesn't just fade into the background anymore. It's alive, resilient, and calling out. It's true. Sometimes breaking silence is what finally cracks the surface. Sometimes the biggest revelations come when you least expect them, and in that moment, everything changes. In the dim glow of her quiet room, her voice soft yet tethered with resilience, the narrator's words break like a fragile dawn. She's been serving, protecting, quietly holding her world together, her sacrifices unseen, her strength unclaimed. Her fists unclench, trembling hands revealing the grit of years spent nurturing a family in silence. Her eyes shimmer with unspoken tears, what she's endured, what she's lost maybe, and yet she refuses to break. It's a moment thick with unvoiced forgiveness, thick with the weight of hidden scars. Slowly, her breath escapes, deep and cleansing, softening the space where pain once lingered. For a moment, she lets go. The walls she built to shield herself finally seem to give way, forging a fragile peace. In that silence, a fierce, quiet victory blooms, the understanding that vulnerability is her true power now. Something unbreakable is born, an armor woven with the threads of resilience and acceptance. And in that moment, everything finally feels like it might be okay.